Let's get straight to the point. If you're planning to get the Tiffen Black Pro-Mist filter for photos or videos, personally, I have the 1/4 strength on my X100V all the time because the effects is obvious but not too strong. And I would suggest using a 1/2 filter for creative purposes. 1/8 is just too subtle that you might be able to create similar effects in post. The images coming out of the Fujifilm X100V are super sharp and clean, and that is definitely not a bad thing. But to me and some people, we prefer a more film-like and hazy and grainy look in our photos and videos. That's why I got the Black Pro-Mist filter for my X100V. I got a 49mm 1/4 Black Pro-Mist filter to fit on my X100V. I'm also using a lens hood from JJC because you need a filter adapter in order to use any kind of filters on the X100V. With both the filter and the lens hood, my X100V is now also weather sealed, and that is awesome. With the 1/4 Black Pro-Mist filter, I'm able to bloom the highlights in my images to lower the contrast and sharpness, and it is also making the entire image look kind of hazy. You see this effect or filter being used a lot in movies, old photos, or film photography, which is exactly what I'm trying to achieve here. The filter is also helping to smoothen the transitions between the highlights and shadows. That is called highlight roll-off. It will make people's skin smoother and more flattering even when there is a harsh light source shining onto the subject. People usually want smoother skin when they are on camera unless you need to show the texture for creative purposes. This filter is great for portrait photography for the same reason. When I'm taking portrait photos, people are always happy to see smoother skin. So if you can use this filter to get the effect in camera instead of doing it in post, it is always a better choice. Remember, any editing in post will damage the quality of the image, so get it in camera instead. For street photography, the 1/4 Black Pro-Mist filter will help blooming street lights, signs, neon signs especially, to make the entire image more hazy and give it a more mystery kind of look. Again, this is a creative choice, so remember you don't have to use this kind of filters. Personally, I think it looks very cool with the effect. If you're worried about that the filter making the bokeh balls hazy or bloomy, don't worry. As long as the background lights are not directly shining into the lens, the bokeh balls will stay pretty much the same with or without the filter. If the lights are directly shining into the lens, they will be bloomy and hazy. Since the filter mainly diffuses lights, it will be more obvious to use it at night because at night you usually get this high contrast situation with super bright lights and super dark areas. You will see the lights changing from a spot into a puffy cloud of light sipping into the shadows, and that is a dramatic effect. Just be careful when you are using this filter because sometimes the bloomy effect on the highlights can be too strong that your image will look washed out and low contrast. And you might not be able to bring the details or contrast back even in post. That is also why you want to choose the strength of the filter wisely. To me, I have used the 1/8 filter before and the effect is definitely there, but very subtle. So subtle to the point where you can probably create similar effect in Photoshop. So that's why I decided to go with the 1/4 filter strength. It might be too strong for some situations, but again, I will have to be the one to use the filter based on my creative decisions. To be honest with you, sometimes I think I need a 1/2 Pro-Mist filter to get even stronger effects. For example, if I want the scene to be covered by a layer of haze, I will probably use a 1/2 filter instead of the 1/4. Since the Tiffen Black Pro-Mist filters keep the black parts of the image black, it doesn't affect the general contrast of the image as much as filters like Cinebloom from Moment. If you use the filter during daytime, the effect might not be as strong unless the sun is shining onto the filter. Again, it will wash out your image and make it a lot less contrasty. This is almost like how people always lift the shadow in post to create this vintage film look. If I can see the effect in camera, it will definitely help when it comes to lighting and compositions. With the X100V or any latest Fujifilm cameras where you can adjust the clarity of the image in camera, you should be able to get a smoother and less sharpened image by turning the clarity down. But you cannot really add haze to the image. That's why having a Black Pro-Mist filter still has its advantages. The Black Pro-Mist filter will also apply the same halation or hazy effect on your videos. I wouldn't suggest using it if you are planning to have a true to life video, let's say a product review video or a documentary, unless it is a creative choice once again. As I said in my previous videos, it is always better to create the look you want in camera instead of relying on post editing, because the closer you get in camera, the less you need to do in post. That saves time and avoids damaging the image during editing. Also, you don't have to assume or guess if you can create the look later in post when you can see it in camera already. Trust me, it helps a lot. One suggestion I have when you are getting filters for your camera or lens, if you don't mind using step-up rings, is to get a bigger filter so it can fit on more lenses with different filter sizes. You might not need a bigger filter for now, but one day when you get a different lens, you might regret not getting a big enough filter, because I regret not getting a bigger filter before. The reason why I got the 49mm Black Pro-Mist filter is because I want to keep my X100V as minimal and as clean as possible. This is definitely for the look instead of practicality, so if you don't need that, get a bigger filter. Using filters like the Black Pro-Mist is like customizing something to better suit your taste and needs. I'll be testing more creative filters on my cameras in future videos, so stay tuned. To me, the 1/4 Black Pro-Mist filter lives on my X100V now, and I might get the 1/2 when it goes on sale. That said, let us know what kind of filters you use on your camera to create different looks in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.